host Pyle from ABCD News, and today we have yet another interesting news broadcast indeed. Just as when we thought chaos in Ferguson, Missouri died down, the recent events that have occurred in Missouri says otherwise. The clearing of criminal charges against Darren Wilson in the killing of Michael Brown has led to several protests. And in the recent protests, 2 officers were shot and wounded.
On March 11th, Chief Police Officer Thomas Jackson resigned in his position. This comes weeks after the Department of Justice heavily criticized the Ferguson Police Department for bias against African American citizens, and his departure comes 7 months after the shooting of Michael Brown by Darren Wilson, who was later cleared of criminal charges by a grand jury in the Justice Department. Ferguson released a statement saying that the resignation comes as a, quote, mutual by both the police chief and the city administration, quote. Lieutenant Colonel Al Eckhoff will become the acting chief of police, effective as of March 19th, until the replacement of a new chief.
Ferguson Police Chief Tom Jackson finally gave in to the mounting pressure after that scathing Justice Department report last week accusing his force of systematically discriminating against blacks. Until recently, Chief Jackson had been defiant.
Let me just say that I do not intend to resign or step down.
Just this week, the city manager and a key judge also resigned. That on the heels of a court clerk and 2 police supervisors who left after they were tied to a series of racist emails, including one referring to President Obama as a chimpanzee and another disparaging the First Lady.
Our review of the evidence found no alternative explanation other than implicit and explicit racial bias.
The Justice Report found African Americans make up 67% of Ferguson's population, but represented 93% of those arrested.
March 12th, following the resignation of Police Chief Tom Jackson, 2 police officers were shot outside the Ferguson, Missouri headquarters. A 32-year-old officer from nearby Webster Groves was shot in the right cheek, and a 41-year-old officer from St. Louis County was shot in the right shoulder, and they were both taken to a nearby hospital. Belmore was not able to provide a description of the suspect or the gun. He said that based on where the officers were standing and the trajectory of the bullets, quote, these shots were directed exactly at my officers. Quote, the 2 officers were standing next to each other, controlling the crowd where they were shot. Let's now interview a witness who saw the 2 police officers getting shot.
That's how you felt during that moment.
Well, I just saw the bullets just whizzed by past me and hit the police officers. I had no time to react. All I did was duck and then just get out of there.
Following the shooting of 2 police officers in Ferguson, Missouri, police arrested Jeffrey Williams Saturday night and was charged with 2 counts of assault in the first degree and 3 counts of armed criminal action and firing a weapon from a vehicle. St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Robert McCullough said that Williams was, quote, out there earlier that evening as part of the demonstration, quote, and told police officers that he fired shots at someone he had a dispute with and hit the officers who he alleged were not the intended targets. However, police are not believing that statement, because McCullough believes that there might have been other people in the car with Williams.
We've seen such similar occurrence in history when Thomas Jefferson resigned from Secretary of State after he was alleged to have helped Jeannette from France to help recruit American citizens to help fight the French Revolution when the Americans chose to remain neutral, much like how Tom Jackson resigned from the pressure of the Justice Department. Now folks, there you have it, the whole story. And this is your host, Pyle, signing off from ABCD News. Until next time, have a good day. Hello, this is... Hello, this is your host, Pyle. Hello, this is your host, Pyle, from ABCD News, and you're here again with us today for a very interesting broadcast indeed. Just as when we thought cut it out.
On March 12th, following the resignation of Police Chief Tom Jackson, 2 police officers were shot outside the
Thanks, Pyle. On March 11th, Chief Police Officer Thomas Jackson resigned of his position.
officer from nearby Webster Groves was shot in the